Is this scene terrifying? It unfolded at 30,000 feet in the air, with Chinese passengers fighting each other. Following the implementation of the visa exemption agreement between China and Malaysia, Chinese nationals flooded into Malaysia. But on a flight from Malaysia back to China, passengers clashed midair. On July 21st at 6 p.m., AirAsia flight D7326 was en route from Kuala Lumpur International Airport to Chengdu Tianfu International Airport when a passenger altercation broke out. An online video shows heated arguments and physical confrontation between passengers in the dimly lit cabin, creating a scene of chaos. Someone revealed that the conflict occurred about half an hour before the flight landed. The passengers, a man and a woman, were arguing in Sichuan dialect. The cause was that one person asked the other to keep the noise down, but the tone might have been inappropriate, leading to the argument and physical altercation. A fellow passenger posted online saying, "It's my first time witnessing a fight on a plane. First they argued, then they fought. At 10,000 meters, it was terrifying." After disembarking, the passengers involved were taken away by the police. On July 22nd, the Sichuan Provincial Public Security Department confirmed the incident to the media, stating it did indeed happen. It is regrettable that Chinese tourists, after arriving abroad, end up turning China's common queue jumping behavior into a physical altercation. On June 8th, a conflict occurred at a convenience store in the M Corp Mall, Selangor, Malaysia. A young couple from China allegedly skipped the line, angering a local Chinese man in a red shirt. The dispute began inside the store and eventually escalated into a physical altercation outside. An online video shows a couple arguing in both Chinese and English with the store staff and other customers during their queue jumping. A middle-aged local Chinese man in a red shirt asked them to queue properly and stop making a scene. Another female customer also tried to calm them down, but the couple remained defiant, ignoring her and shouting at the man. The Chinese man even took out his phone, threatening to record the local man's image. The red-shirted man responded, "Who are you to take my picture?" As tensions rose, the verbal conflict intensified and the Chinese man threatened to fight. The local Chinese man then said Chinese people do shameful things, which immediately provoked a nationalistic response from the Chinese man. With anger boiling over, he retorted, "Is China not good?" before physically attacking the man. The video shows the three individuals walking out of the convenience store, where the altercation escalated into a physical fight outside. During the struggle, the young Chinese man, using his larger size, managed to pin the middle-aged local man to the ground and choke him with his arm. The scene became chaotic. On June 11th, local police confirmed in a statement that they had summoned all three individuals for questioning and initiated an investigation under Section 323 of the Penal Code for intentional injury. Official Malaysian statistics show that in 2024, China became the third largest source of overnight international tourists to Malaysia, with about 3.3 million visitors, an increase of 1.8 million from 2023. This made China the only country among Malaysia's tourism market to achieve a growth of over 1 million visitors. Singapore remained Malaysia's largest source market, while Indonesia was the second largest. In July, Malaysia's Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture reported that in the first 5 months, China became Malaysia's largest source of tourists outside of ASEAN, with about 1.8 million visitors. This marked a 39% increase compared to the same period last year, the largest growth rate by far. The Malaysian tourism sector expects that, driven by the increase in Chinese tourists, the number of travelers from China will reach 5 million in 2025. Some Chinese influencers have seized the opportunity to visit Malaysia, only to use social media to criticize the country, pointing out its shortcomings in order to gain more attention and traffic.
来马来西亚一定要带方便面。
When coming to Malaysia, make sure to bring instant noodles. Not only do the restaurants taste bad, but even the instant noodles aren't great. You'll need to bring your own noodles from home that suit your taste. The rice noodles here are really average. So, what should I be aware of when coming to Malaysia?
我觉得你得带方便面。
You really need to bring instant noodles, and maybe some pickled vegetables too. It's just hard to get used to the food here. I feel like I've lost weight after just a few days.
If you want to lose weight, come to Malaysia.
Is this rundown place really Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia? It lacks the vibe of a major metropolis. This vlogger criticized Malaysia's public transportation, saying they waited for more than half an hour for a bus in Kuala Lumpur but never got one. They say this is a food paradise, but either it's too sweet or too spicy. I'm going crazy.
马来西亚这水质怎么洗衣服啊？
The water quality Malaysia, how do we even do laundry? Friends, I really love wearing white clothes, but these white clothes just get dirtier the more I wash them. Malaysian Chinese vlogger Mr. Ge stated on YouTube that these people lack international perspective and are only seeking attention with their complaints. He mentioned that he has tolerated them for a long time and emphasized that Malaysia does not welcome such tourists, asking them not to come. A Malaysian Chinese female vlogger directly lashed out in anger.
中国人滚出马来西亚！
Chinese people, get out of Malaysia. This Malaysian Chinese blogger stated that after the visa exemption between China and Malaysia, some Chinese groups started exploiting the market with low-cost practices. They mentioned beauty and photography e-commerce teams. For example, unlicensed beauty groups without local certification exaggerated their skills and shifted the risk onto local businesses. Local businesses, eager to attract customers, partner with these Chinese teams only to find themselves unable to handle the consequences and forced to shut down. Some even engage in minimally invasive cosmetic procedures without proper sterilization equipment, no certification, no after-sales service, and no long-term visas, scamming customers and disappearing, leaving the local businesses to deal with the fallout. The vlogger warned that Chinese people should not bring their quick money schemes to Malaysia.
真的啊，我得替大马的朋友发个声了啊！
Really, I have to speak up for my friends in Malaysia. I beg my Chinese friends, please stop coming to Malaysia and causing trouble. You're really pushing them to their breaking point.
This Chinese vlogger, who has worked as a photographer in Malaysia for many years, said he can feel that the Malaysian market has also been affected by the influx of Chinese business owners entering the market. He gave an example of a Chinese photography team recently offering a 299 RMB photography package, which included makeup, venue, and photos, plus a short video. It was an attractive deal, but business owners who have experience in China know that this is just a scheme. Quick money is made up front, but there are hidden costs, and once the money is collected, they disappear. For local businesses, this is disruptive to the market. Customers then turn around and accuse local businesses for overcharging. This kind of scheme has already spread across various industries, including beauty and e-commerce. Chinese people come, rent a homestay, take orders like crazy on social media, but don't pay rent or taxes. Their costs are half of what local businesses face, leaving local businesses with no way to compete. A recent hotspot for this is the renovation market, where workers arrive without work visas, do the job, and then leave. There are also young Chinese vloggers who mock Malaysia for not having planned pedestrian walkways, calling it a problem.
Malaysia has no pedestrian walkways. They're a country without sidewalks. Other countries have them, but not here. The locals are proud of it. They can only walk on narrow strips along the road, which are like green belts. It's just road after road with cars passing by. There are no crosswalks, no places to cross the street. You have to weave through the gaps between the cars. And sometimes, as you're walking, the road just disappears in front of you, turning into an overpass. You keep walking and suddenly find yourself on a bridge. It's that extreme.
The vlogger said he asked locals, and basically they don't walk if it's too far. They either take a taxi or the subway. There is no concept of pedestrian walkways, and the locals don't see a problem with it. In fact, they're particularly proud of it. The vlogger then started mocking Malaysians, and this attitude wasn't very pleasant.
He told me, as Malaysians, when we go out, we just use cars. Going out means not using our legs. What's there to be proud of? No sidewalks mean your city planning is problematic. How did you plan the city, and yet you still think not having sidewalks is something impressive? Malaysians have this inexplicable confidence. You're just a small Southeast Asian country. When it comes to military strength, you can't compete with anyone. Can you even make it to the top 30 globally? If you were dropped in the Middle East, any country there would crush you. The only reason you're doing okay is because you're close to China, so no one messes with you. But you act like you're some major power. Why do the US, China, even Vietnam, Thailand, and Singapore have sidewalks, but Malaysia doesn't? The problem is with you. You see, there are no sidewalks. So what's there to be proud of? It's disgraceful.
After this video was posted online, many Malaysian people left comments criticizing the Chinese vlogger. Someone says, please let these Chinese people criticize more. This way, there will be fewer poor-mannered tourists coming to Malaysia, and our society will be more peaceful. Others say many of the older generation in Malaysia used to live frugally, working hard and sending their hard-earned money back to China to support their relatives and help with the development and livelihood of their hometowns. But now, times have changed. Some Chinese people seem to have forgotten this kindness, even dismissing the help they once received, which is truly disheartening. When you drink water, think of its source. It's the most basic principle of being a decent person. I hope no one forgets the sacrifices and kindness of the overseas Chinese in Nanyang during those years. As a Malaysian, I watched the video with a smile. It turns out that there are many immature Chinese people too. If they don't even know how to show respect, what's the point of having sidewalks? I am from Myanmar. I studied in Malaysia and also in Shanghai, but I still prefer the warmth of Malaysia. I realized a long time ago that many Chinese people still don't understand that a prosperous city doesn't mean the quality of its people. Malaysia has much higher quality than China, and I really hope that China doesn't get visa-free access. Indeed, people are the bravest when they are in a safe place. In China, no one dares to say anything. As for the lack of sidewalks in Malaysia, another Chinese blogger gave a more balanced introduction. He said that Malaysia has more than 900 cars per 1,000 people, which is an extremely high ownership rate, leading the world. Almost everyone has a car, and a family typically owns 4 or 5 cars. The cars don't get scrapped, and with cheap fuel and low maintenance costs, people prefer not to walk. In Malaysia, even cars that are 20 or 30 years old are still on the road. Due to the decline in the quality of Chinese people under the CCP rule, they have flooded into Malaysia as tourists, frequently causing disturbances. Recently, a video from Penang, Malaysia went viral. It showed Chinese tourists arguing with fellow tourists over the best position on the cable car to the famous Bukit Bendera, also known as Penang Hill. During the argument, one person lost control and began shouting. After the video was shared, it immediately sparked heated discussions, and the related post even made it to the trending topics on Chinese blog platform Weibo. Can you stop talking, please?
We've already waited for 2 cars.
Stop talking. It's already started, okay? Just stop talking. Don't talk anymore yourself. Don't touch me again. Don't touch me, okay? I didn't touch you. What's wrong with you? You should see a doctor with that behavior. Because you touched me earlier, I felt you were harassing me, okay? Who touched you? Please, just stop talking. Okay, I won't talk to you anymore. The video posted on August 8th shows 2 women speaking Mandarin standing at the front of the cable car. Both women are holding smartphones intending to record the ride. According to the vlogger who shared the video, the woman's actions severely impacted the experience of other tourists. Throughout the ride, they continued to argue with fellow tourists and display some erratic behavior. Most people in the cabin were dissatisfied with the 2 women's actions, but they refused to give way. Even when the cable car reached its final stop, the 2 women still made strange faces towards other passengers. Most people in the cabin were dissatisfied with the 2 women's actions, but they refused to give way. Even when the cable car reached its final stop, the 2 women still made strange faces towards other passengers. Be a role model, especially if you have children with you. Yes, that's right. After the video was posted, many people criticized the woman involved. So selfish. Now they've embarrassed themselves internationally. Posting on social media is more important than anything else. These people make traveling exhausting. This popular tourist spot in Malaysia has witnessed similar incidents before. On May 29, a vlogger posted a video describing an encounter with 3 domineering sisters at Bukit Bendera. The vlogger said the sisters made everyone in the car go silent.
The first carriage of the Bukit Bendera funicular is the only one with a scenic view, but the 3 sisters blocked the entire window. The other passengers could only reach through the narrow gaps to take photos. Some fellow Chinese passengers politely asked them to sit down and not block everyone, but the sisters remained indifferent.
Chinese people have caused various ugly incidents both domestically and abroad, but they were not like this originally. A Chinese man who was born and raised in China and has lived in Malaysia for over a decade, Mr. Lee explained that China has thousands of years of advanced civilization and a tradition of valuing virtue and good deeds. But after the CCP took power, they destroyed traditional culture through movements like the Cultural Revolution. He said that in the 1980s, after the Cultural Revolution, most Chinese people still had basic conscience and hoped for the country to improve. But the 1989 Tiananmen Square incident, where the CCP suppressed the student movement, shattered any possibility of achieving a democratic society and political transparency in China. The entire society shifted, with people willing to do anything for money. In 1999, the CCP started persecuting Falun Gong, a group that sought to revive traditional Chinese morals. This further erodes righteousness and leads to a further moral decline in society. Mr. Wang mentioned that he hadn't returned to China for 10 years. Over these years, under Xi Jinping's leadership, China's wolf warrior diplomacy has become prominent, and many young, ultra-naturalistic Chinese students who were brainwashed by party culture have appeared domestically. Once they go abroad, their arrogant behavior damages the image of Chinese people. This is very sad and makes overseas Chinese feel ashamed, but these actions do not represent true Chinese people. Chinese people are not like this. It is the CCP's fault. The CCP does not equal China, and it does not equal the Chinese people. We must make this distinction. With the implementation of the visa exemption policy between China and Malaysia, public concerns over social security in Malaysia have been rising, mainly due to the frequent reports of criminal cases involving Chinese nationals. This has led people to question whether the visa-free policy has opened the door for criminals. As early as 2023, Malaysia announced a policy allowing Chinese citizens to enter without a visa for stays of up to 30 days. Since the mutual visa exemption agreement between China and Malaysia was established, Malaysia's crime rate has sharply increased. According to Malaysia's Department of Statistics, at the end of last year, cybercrime cases in Malaysia surged by 35.5% in 2023, with a total of over 34,000 cases. Among these, e-commerce fraud topped the list, accounting for 33.2% of all cases. Other common crimes included telecom fraud at 30%, fake investments at 15.6%, fake loans at 12.3%, electronic financial crimes at 6.1%, and romance scams at 2.7%. Some Malaysians are concerned that the influx of Chinese nationals, while bringing economic benefits, might also lead to increased crime and organized crime problems. Malaysia is currently facing a wave of online fraud threats dominated by Chinese criminal networks. A social media post about a Chinese theft gang says, as more and more Chinese investments and projects are launched in Malaysia, the gang-related problems in the country will undoubtedly increase.